Alright guys, we're getting into a brand new best of 3 here for the Corsair Cup Weekly. I do want to remind everybody, by the way, that the StarCraft 2 esports Twitter, the official version at least, has been working at getting better and tweeting more and doing stuff to help out. So if you haven't already, give them a follow, but also make sure to go retweet their tweet about the Corsair Cup. Make sure that they know that they're tweeting to the right people. But we are getting into game number 1. Spawning in the bottom left side of Arena, we've got the teal Zerg player. It's Tefel.
In the top left, as the purple Protoss, it is Red Blood Pros PappiJoe. Those so many P's.
Purple Protoss PappiJoe. Alright, so Red Blood Pros, kind of an interesting team. You've got PappiJoe, you got Lily Canine, I think in the past they had like Hanfi. I don't actually remember their full roster, but very different playing players. Not to say that playing cheesy or all any is bad by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it's a stigma that I think people playing the game hate, but as far as watching it, I really enjoy. And PappiJoe has been, for lack of a better phrase, a bit of a cheesy player when we've seen him in the past, which has inevitably made him more interesting to me as a as a fan, much less more than anything else to watch.
It's always fun to watch that one cheesy player all any player. It's only a problem when it's like everyone is doing it and it's no longer really unique, which was like, you know, 2 base Immortal Sentry all in.
I wonder if you... So, if you had a tournament that was like, you can only cheese, that also lets you know that your opponent is only going to cheese in that game. Does that actually make that better or worse? Because I don't imagine we're necessarily going to see a bunch of like 6 pools versus 2 Rexes situations, right? But...
Well, first of all, the problem would be what is exactly cheese, and what's the difference between a cheese and an all-in. And then, secondly, I think there's got to be races that favor being a cheeser over the other. I'm not going to try and determine which one, because that's going to start a riot in chat. And you guys can figure that one out yourself.
By the way, going back on the question we had posed before getting into the game, as finally some stuff is starting up, is that people very definitively like live content. A lot.
Yep, yeah, they do.
I will say, though, sometimes there are times where we'll look at a bracket, especially for something like the Elima League, and I go like, damn, I wish we could have seen that game. I wish we could have seen how that played out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a fleeting want more than a necessity.
Millions of StarCraft games that are amazing have gone uncast and unseen.
Yeah, well, actually, you know what, more than anything else, and this sounds a little bit silly, but rather than necessarily the want to catch a game that's been missed, right? Good harass out of PappiJoe, by the way. I think that the aspect to me of no stream delays far more appealing, personally. Like, we didn't get to cast Marine King versus Maru? Oh, shucks. Like, that, I don't care. But it's like, we could have been casted anyone else with no stream delay? That would be cool to me.
I mean, I'd prefer it, but it's not, I'd still prefer the live content, so. Oh yeah,
100% with you. I'm just saying, like, that's of the appeal for replays. It's not the actual missing games or anything like that. For me, at least. At any rate, enough about that. We actually have had a bit of back and forth. And Tefel took a bit of damage, but as we can see off the actual count on the overlay, not a lot. Like, this wasn't too terrible for him. And PappiJoe getting paid back a little bit. Not too much damage goes down over here, so... I want to call it a bit of a wash, but we all know Zerg players love being hit on drones, love being hit on bases, so as he takes his third, Tefel definitely not feeling too bad.
Not too bad, not too great. Still getting that drone count up.
So, you know, it's a Monday. I hate Mondays. You
it
know,
is a Monday.
Gotta get by.
I never remember days anymore. We cast like the weekends for like us sometimes like Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Yeah.
Even then, we're gonna be casting CSL.
Yeah, we're casting CSL tomorrow. That's right. Yeah. So get back on that collegiate hype train.
Woohoo! I want to bring up that PappiJoe is going for a pretty quick robotics base, so I'm thinking disruptors.
But this is a little bit odd to me because a fast disruptor build versus Zerg, I don't think is a terrible idea, but on Arena, I kind of think it is. Because normally, if you're like cross spawns or Ruins of Ceres or something, you've got time to get this out with relative ease. Take a third base pretty comfortably as well. So I guess relying on this harass to buy him the time to comfortably get those units out, and if he does, then he'll be fine. You know, you get this choke that Zerg players hate running through, and that's not a problem.
I guess, I mean, we saw like, damn it, Billowy I'm not supposed to remember that. Basically, we go for the Disruptors against Zerg, and it seemed like it was very specifically because he was afraid of like those all-ins that were just rampaging and still are rampaging against Protoss. The problem is, of course, for Disruptors though, is that if they anticipate it, so if you show your hand, then they're going to get good at splitting against it, and eventually, like you're just going to be overrun because the Disruptors don't get good shots, unlike the very consistent Immortals.
Huh.
So, like. I like the try and change up in style. I don't know if PappiJoe would do this every single game, if it was like all 3 games, for instance. But I think going for Disruptors first, at least once, is a good attempt. It might surprise Tefel.
Well, I really, actually thinking back to the Ting Open Finals, right? Like the best game we saw at Amana was where he had opened with Disruptors on Leerlac. He didn't win the game, but that was his best looking game against Rogue out of the 5. So again, I think Disruptors certainly have their place. The fear was just simply playing it on this map.
Yeah.
Again, dangerous. He still doesn't have a 3rd down, and PappiJoe is kind of bordering, like teeter-tottering on that all-in situation now, where if you're not going to expand sometime soon, you are going to be really behind, more to the economy than anything else.
Well, what's interesting is that while, yeah, it's really concerning that PappiJoe doesn't have a 3rd base, it's not as concerning as it really can be. Tefel is going for his own all-in here. So you brought up the word all-in for PappiJoe, but it's actually Tefel who's not... Yeah. He's not droning anymore. He's not getting a 4th base. He's still extending his creep a little bit. He's actually bringing over queens. But if PappiJoe holds up on his 3rd base, therefore doesn't have to lose it, he can still cancel it. He doesn't have to feel the pressure of actually going over and defending it. He can actually deal with this all-in a lot easier. And if he deals with this easy peasy and gets a later 3rd but a much safer one, then that's great for him. And Tefel actually might be a little surprised to see it's Disruptors here, but he's not going to know.
I like
got split.
The pylon minefield essentially has been set up for the overcharges, but as we can see, the fight taking place away from that a little unfortunate. That Warp Prism, it's the way the Warp Prism's across the map, not at home. It would save these Disruptors actually really nicely. They do manage to back away, get some decent hits of PappiJoe.
Oh no! Okay, well that's Disruptors anyways.
PappiJoe's still not quite locked this down yet. Photon overcharges are going to pop. 3rd base still trying to get made, but that Disruptors, they're holding the line for now. But this Warp Prism could be doing harass. It could be coming home. There we go. Finally gonna use it.
At this point, you don't really want to cancel that Nexus, even though it's still an opportunity. Not anymore. So now you definitely have to move your army to be willing to defend that. The Disruptor cuts up to 4, which is quite scary, but the thing is, it's still a count that you have to get those good hits, and you cannot shoot them all at once, or they're going to pounce on you. Tefel just continuing to split. The problem right now is that half of the army is attacking the Nexus, which should make it easier. Oh, it was a good hit for PappiJoe to take this side of the army, but it's actually not.
Despite these good hits, and there's been a lot of good hits, it's still just an overall disadvantage. Tefel, well, he did kind of cut drones and start going for an all-in. He did so after setting up a great economy, and the harass out of PappiJoe just hasn't been cutting it. Warp Prism just kind of sitting there doing nothing at all, and these Disruptors banking on cooldowns they don't have, and it does look like Tefel is finally conquering this side of the map. Good game.
Yeah. GG.
All right, so map number 1 goes to Tefel. So again, like I'm just expanding on this replay idea, like the experiment type thing. Like we could hypothetically do something then where, because people are saying, you don't want to see spoilers. That's the biggest danger to a replay, and I agree. But I was thinking, like, what if you did something then where the tournament was played live, like right now, just like the Corsair Cup is happening, but we cast the games from replays. Like we started the tournament at 10, but the cast starts at 11. That way we've got replays, and we just keep following the brackets only an hour behind or so. Is that still too late, or is like 1 second of a replay bad enough of a replay for those that are like? And I'm not planning anything, guys. I'm not. This is just a very interesting discussion to me. Oh, look, can you invite me? No, thank you. But I'm wondering then, like, is that for those who are naysaying the replays? Is that still acceptable, or is that still like just no, not even 1 second of a replay is okay in any situation? You guys can start this.
The next map will be Dusk Towers. And he's ready to go.
Alright, cool. Just leave Mana and Lily, can you know what was going on? Because I think they were waiting on us. But, okay, Dusk Towers is going to be game number 2. We'll see you guys here in just a moment. I have some fantastic news unrelated to this, by the way.
Oh?
I've just received word from Ting that all prize money, caster money, and admin money, everything related to Ting is being paid out today.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! So, lots of people. Oh, Jesus. You guys how rich Mana's going to get this week? Like, let's assume for a second Mana wins this cup, right? That's $60. Okay, cool. Mana got like $300 yesterday for the Maturino Cup, and then he got like $1,300 from Ting. So that's like, in the course of like a couple of days, Mana has earned more money than we see through subscribers on an average month.
Oh.
No, that's not even something to be sad about. That's great. It's good to see somebody actually get paid to play. You know what I mean? Like the payoff is there. It's real.
It's totally real.
But also be cool if we made lots of money too. But at any rate, what we lack in money, we certainly make up for viewers. And hello, guys, welcome back. Game number 2 already underway. In the bottom left side of Dusk Towers, we've got the purple Protoss, PappiJoe.
In the top right, as the teal Zerg, it is Tefel.
So I know we talked about this before on stream, but I can't remember the name of it. In Futurama, the like fish chain or whatever, right? Not like it sounds like PappiJoe's. It's not PappiJoe's. It's like they had the Poplar episode. What?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I that's the problem is that I couldn't remember who it was either.
It's something Joe. It's something Joe's. Fishy Joe's. Fishy Joe's.
Fishy Joe's.
There
you go.
I always think PappiJoe's Fishy Joe's, and I just want to see like. I don't even know what he looks like, but I just want to see some sort of mock-up of like the Fishy Joe's logo with like PappiJoe's face on it or something. Have that as his little clan decal
instead of his clan. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, who cares about clans? Am I right? Shh, Koreans don't even use them half the time. Most of them are on Team Chicken, for goodness sake.
Yeah, or Team. La, 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 la.
Actually, there was that time where everyone was like literally on Team Chicken. Chicken Arthur.
Yes. I mean, Arthur like showed up in one of our tournaments, and then didn't get anywhere. So
right, and actually, he PM'd me on Twitter, which is weird because Koreans just in general don't seem to use Twitter. But he DM'd me asking for Hell to Boot Time Portrait, and I was like, "What? Why do you want one of these?"
He just thought they looked really cool. He's like, "What are you?"
Actually,
maybe wanted to sell them for like the $500 they're worth.
They do look cool, but also, that's why it's so hard to give these out to people. Like we've managed to give a couple away because we still have a couple extra codes, but there is like this weird black market for them because they're rare and really rare and hard to get.
Imagine how much money that would be if StarCraft 2 was actually popular. I love you, StarCraft 2.
Alright, well, some interesting points being brought up on that second half of the replay discussion, and Gibby has a great point. This is why I love Twitch, by the way. It says, for me, it's the interaction with the casters. If I wanted to just hear a cast, I would just go to YouTube. And that's going to quickly segment me as a quick aside to remind everybody that our YouTube channel is under great management now. There's thumbnails, there's playlists. It looks better than it ever has. If you guys haven't checked out our YouTube, youtube.com/BaseTradeTV, please go subscribe to it when you can. But I like the interaction. It kind of sucks that we have to do it on delay sometimes, but also sometimes it makes it more fun. It keeps the stupid conversations rolling longer than they should be in a lot of cases.
That's certainly true.
So it's a very interesting, unique dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have Tefel got to wait. We have the 3 hatch for a pool. He's just been macroing this entire time. Hasn't been doing a ton of scouting, just on the lack of a third, and that's a little too bad because PappiJoe is going for a Dark Shrine, which might be a complete surprise.
Yes.
Sit in the back right there. Might follow up with Blink.
Also, because we had mentioned this before going into the game, and I know everyone, please talk about the game. I get it. Mana is playing against the Lycanine. They didn't wait for us, and that's fine because we told them they didn't have to. So if you want to watch that series play out, you can watch it through Mana's point of view. He is streaming his matches on Team Liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, DTs do come in. There's a Spore Crawler, but this could actually focus them down if they went for it. PappiJoe perhaps was just thinking, I'll get away with a free hatchery snipe, but that's not the case at all. And a little bit awkward. Wow, those shredded that queen so quick. I did not expect that.
3DTs, man. We got some sharp blades.
They certainly are. Warp blades. Well, actually, are warp blades sharp or are they hot? It's like pure energy, right?
Yes, it is. I don't know.
Okay, so getting a decent amount of kills, but still nothing too crazy. Usually when you invest in DTs like this, it's meant to do a little bit more, but anything to buy you small leads while you macro behind it, and PappiJoe is kind of macroing a bit. I'm not sure why there's another Twilight Council coming down, because you needed one to build the...
Definitely autopilot. Amazing.
Oh, the Warp Prism gets sniped. That's very unfortunate. So it looks like this will get cleaned up. A little bit of denied mining, perhaps a little bit harsher than the drones actually killed through this, as only 8 went down, but Tefel also, through defending this, revealed that he had a rather large roach army, and PappiJoe taking his third has to be very careful.
Yeah, he does. I mean, those CTs did not buy enough time. They can still technically buy more time, but the Warp Prism also went down, so they're going to have to walk across the map and really not be too effective. And they didn't do a whole lot of damage either. So Tefel, makes a couple of drones, not a big deal. He already got away with such a greedy opener that this wasn't devastating for him. And he's continuing on his way to get to that really big army. PappiJoe, went for Disruptors last game. They could have possibly worked out if they got maybe even better hits than they did, or... I don't know, maybe just had pylons of better positioning. They're kind of all spread out. And Tefel just basically did a good job being patient against everything. But I don't know if you really want to do that again. It seems to have only worked once, even though the idea is cool. So the Robotics Bay, I'm hesitant to call the Disruptors because I personally don't want to see them. I think that's the Mass Immortal. If you can actually get there, would have been better. And it's Disruptors.
I think one of the really undervalued things... and Nerdchio brought this up in his posts, and again, some people don't know that was sarcasm or true balance complaint, but one thing I hadn't considered is Immortals with a barrier ability actually have equivalent health to that of an Ultralisk. So again, 100 shields, 200 health with a temporary 200 increase, that's 500, same as an Ultra. It makes these tier 2 units incredibly powerful in terms of just its health pool, more than its damage, and I think that's why Mass Immortals have really proven to be like the new cool thing to go for, because it is so damn good.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, if he gets up to like 7 Disruptors, then more power to him. If that's how this game is going to go, like a long time before they even fight, then he could get to an ideal composition, Tefel could get to an ideal composition, and it's all about control. But it's just a little worrying. Tefel is getting onto a 4th base now. He's finally at that perfect drone count at 70, so he's really just making nothing but units right now, and I guess waiting on lurkers. You should have a fairly sizable bank to make a lot of lurkers. But, if he makes 10 lurkers, tries to siege up PappiJoe, who maybe has 8 Disruptors at the time. Actually, the Disruptors might win that. But the army is moving out. He's the 4th base. The trigger, I guess.
Triggered. Alright, with the Disruptor shots, can they be good? PappiJoe got some pretty good ones last game. Oh, that first one was fan-freaking-tastic. Takes a huge chunk of Hydra. Second one, not so hot, so kind of averaging out to 2 decent hits. Third one's pretty good as well. Corpse is going flying, but PappiJoe just doesn't have much more behind this. Like, those first 3 shots were cool. 2 more Disruptors coming out. This catches a large portion of the army, but there's still nothing else behind it.
Yeah, that was just a simple steamroll. GG.
Alright, Tefel will take the series 2-0 and advance on to the semifinals. Kind of an interesting point being now what the brackets are at. Nighting got knocked out by Joe Nesbo, whoever this is on the brackets. Well, I should show you guys here in a moment. But the other semifinals is also almost ready to go. Lily Canine and Mana did just start their quarterfinal match, so that's only just in game 1 currently. We may end up getting into game 2 of this, unless Guru or Nesbo wins quickly to fight Tefel in the semifinals up here first, because we do want to cast both semifinals matches. But Raynor also advancing down here. Again, shout out to this kid. Plays in the Gauntlet as well. Gets pretty far. Last I saw, he was in the semifinals over there. Semifinals over here. Playing quite well today, I must say.
Mm-hmm. Waiting for, potentially, probably Mana.
Yeah. So we are going to go to a commercial break. Hey, invites, please. I think they're getting to game 2, so we'll quickly do ads, and we'll see you guys in a sec for game 2 of Mana vs. Lily Canine.